dangerous to have instrumentalists that really know what they're doing. They will force you to sing, even if you don't like singing. Even if your voice is the voice of a preacher like my own. Amen.
Amen.
Well, in everything we give God the glory for the testimonies. It has been everywhere I go before I ministered. I was in Abuja, the largest Redeemed Christian Church of God in Abuja, Desire of Nations ministry this last January. And I didn't know what was going on. The second day, I wanted to take the microphone. The pastor said, no, you're not going to preach yet. Somebody had to say something before you preach. And I sat down. Over 3,000 people in attendance. I sat down. And then this guy came up and said, well, all of you know me. They say, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I'm a proficient pastor of Prophets 10 in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. This man of God that is here today, I want to talk to you about him. I met him when I was an unbeliever. Oh, I never remember. He said I wasn't born again. I was taken to him for deliverance because I had a problem. And the only thing I remember, I fell on the floor and the man was prophesying to me, you're going to be a preacher. All this battle around your life, one of them will die one by one. And then it was 1980 something. I don't even know anything. He said, so from then, I am now a provincial pastor by the grace of God in the Redeemed Christian Church. So I want you to know that what the prayer he prayed in 1980 something is still working till today. So I'm ministering again for him, for the whole province again, another province in Redeemed by the grace of God in July. He's taking a whole week in Abuja. I believe God you will have testimonies. Like your religious amen. I said you will have your own testimony. Oh, how God is good. Yes. I prefer that you say something else. In the Bible, wherever you find it, say the Lord is good, the answer is, and His mercy. I mean, your stuff is good, but I'm saying that what I see in the Bible, everywhere you see the Lord is good, you will hear, and His mercy until I leave. Can you just do that? The Lord is good. When I finish and I depart to Atlanta, you can go ahead with all the time. Amen. 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 Just wave your hands and give God praise. Let's worship Him. Let's give Him all the honor. Let's bless Him. Just say something to Him. Say something to His name. Worship Him. He's worthy of all our praise. He's an awesome God. He's the reason for living. He's the only wise God that answers to the questions of men. The solution to all the problems, the answers to prayer, the all-sufficient God. Worship Him. Just thank Him in advance for what He will do tonight. We give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the worship. You're worthy. You're worthy. You're worthy. You're worthy. You're worthy. Oh, you're worthy. We bless you. We bless you.
We bless you. Hallelujah. We bless you, Lord. Alpha Omega. We bless you, Lord. Oh, we just want to bless you, Lord. I bless you, Lord. Somebody give me praise. Bless you, Lord. Holy Spirit, we bless you, Lord. Master Jesus, we bless you, Lord.
praise your name for what you have done for us and for what you will do again this morning. Our eyes are on you. You are the Alpha and the Omega, the reason for gathering. We trust you for this weekend program and how you have promised to prove that you are God. Father, we hand over to you. The Bible says the letter kill it, but the spirit quicken it. Let your spirit come like never before. That will leave this place fulfilled. And all the glory and all the worship will be to your name. In Jesus' name we worship. Somebody shout it, Goliath killing, amen. Give your neighbor a high five, say, I got it. High five, high five. Alright, let your children teach you how to do high five. Hallelujah. Amen. Shall we? Amen. Even if you try more than that, I'm not singing more than that. Shall we be seated? Don't mind them. They have a way of communicating to you. I'm not going to sing, I'm a preacher. Amen. Praise the Lord. God had promised to do great and mighty things. I want to promise you that after this program, you will have reasons to testify. Amen. Like your religious amen. Amen. We are looking at a subject I believe it's very, very important. And I'm actually not going to dwell in that subject as much today. I'm going to look at the scripture on something very simple so we can close on time. If you remember very well, I don't like closing very late. I want to make sure we finish on time so that tomorrow we can be here. So that means I'm going to preach for 10 hours. Well, you will stop when there's nobody anymore on the seats. So I'm going to make it very brief for the first night. This is the first night, and by the way, I thank God for some of us that made it here, and some of us that are coming later on. We'll all be blessed in Jesus' name. Amen. The theme of this program is Greater Grace and Progress. And I'm not going to go into explanation about grace now. I'm going to go ahead in the rest of the days of the program. I wish we understand that everyone seated here today, you're not here because you're too good. You're not here because you are a Christian and you love the Lord. You're here because the grace of God has given you another chance. Amen. Out of 86 seconds, 600, out of 86,600 seconds of today, you survived it. Amen. You're still alive. Amen. It is just because God has decided to keep you alive. Amen. And so for that reason, it was not because you are good. It was all because the grace has kept you. Amen. And I want to blow your mind. It's not because you're a good Christian neither. I was in a program and Daddy Gio, that's the only one I call my father, said, Daddy Gio, Pastor Adeboye he said, for about 2 years now, my prayer has changed. And all of us were waiting so that we can pick up the prayer point. Daddy said the prayer I'm praying now is for mercy. I said, what? And then, you see, I realized that the farther you go with the Lord, the more you realize you are nobody. The more you realize that if it were not for God, you can't make it. And so today, I want us to go, I will touch in the area of grace, but what I really want to share with you today is called my bad credit versus a perfect co-signer. Wow. My bad credit versus a perfect co-signer. And I believe, God, that everybody seated here today needed a co-signer. If your credit is good, can I hear amen? Amen. All right, we will soon examine it. My bad credit versus a perfect co-signer. Unless you don't live in the US, then you won't understand the sermon of today. If you live here, if you don't live here, in those days I just come and go back and, get my dollars, go back home, enjoy myself, buy whatever I want to buy. And then I thought the people here don't know what they're doing. What's wrong with this guy? Making it the way you're supposed to, So then when I came down 15 years ago and entered into the system, the first question they ask is your credit okay? I said, I don't know. Okay, what's your social security? Oh, they say, sorry, you have no credit. I said, what? Now please take note of these three things. The three major things I want us to consider in this country about credit. Number one is either no credit, say one. Low credit, say two. Bad credit. Apart from the fact that you have good credit, the rest of it is either no credit, low credit, or bad credit. So I was happy because they say, you have no credit. I said, I have. They say, you don't have. I said, how do you know? They say, oh, well, you would soon know. Now I know better. For us seated here today, I want us to read some scriptures, and I'm going to point to you that there is no single Christian that has a very good credit. Our credits are bad. There's no single person who don't need a co-signer. And I'm going to look for one for you tonight. Amen. I said a co-signer. Amen. Hear me. So when I continued building up my credit when I had the story, and I said, okay, is that how this? Okay, So I started. They wanted to buy a property. And then I went to the bank as usual. And they said, oh no, the credit is low. I said, The other time you say no credit. This one is low. So what do? I want to own a house. I like the house. I went to the house, I saw it. And the guy said, well, do you have a co-signer? It was then I understand that 14 years ago. A co-signer? They say yes. What do they do? He said, okay, sit down. The person must have an excellent credit. The credit is without reproach. And then bring that person here, and he should be ready to sign for you. As long as the person signs, your signature doesn't matter. Your credit doesn't matter. We'll give you the house. I said, wow. Quickly, I talked to 2 or 3 people. I didn't know that some of the colleagues were like me. No credit, and no credit. Are you hearing me? Don't mock anybody here today, because almost everybody I can see here. You either no credit, no credit. If you're a believer and you have been very, very holy, then you have low credit. Extremely clean. Your credit is low. But if you are a believer that is kind of weak today and up tomorrow, your credit is bad. Are you hearing me? So, I took the guy and I asked him, you have good credit? He said, yeah, let's go. We got to the place. They brought out the form and asked, they said, okay, they asked for a social, he put his social down. And they said, oh yeah, good, come inside. I mean, they don't regard me again. They were telling me, it's me who wants to buy a house. They took him inside and said, yes, sir. Fill this form. I said, no, it's me. They said, nobody knows you. This is the guy we need. As long as this guy co-sign for you, we'll give you the house. Today, whatever you have struggled to accomplish in God's kingdom that has become impossible, when your co-signer rises up today, I am talking to somebody in the house. Whatever your prayer has not been able to accomplish, whatever your fasting has not been able to accomplish, by the unction of God, I am only going to invite a co-signer. And when he co-signs, the devil will say, okay. Even the devil. Can I hear somebody shout, amen? Share for a minute. My bad credit versus a perfect. I told you we're not wasting time. We just close up in a few minutes. So the guy started signing the form. I folded my hands. And when all the forms were signed, they looked at it again and they brought the small part of it to me. Sign here. I said, then I asked the manager, it's me who owns it. I said, we know. But the reason why we're giving you the house is not because of who you are, it's because of this guy. And somebody is here today, what you know your credit cannot accomplish, heaven will sign for you today. Some of us have fasted and prayed. Some of us have waited on the Lord. We've done all kind of restitution. We've trusted God for everything, but yet nothing is working. All you need is a co-sign. Amen. When you co-sign, but you need somebody whose credit is good. And I have one. I'm going to announce the one that have excellent world class.